All right, people, today we are talking about how to land your very first client as a copywriter. I get this question all the time in my DMs, so I'm just going to kind of walk you through my processes, what I did to land my very first clients, and then what I've done since then to help other people do the same. So, first off, what you're going to need is a portfolio of some type. And you're like, Amanda, I don't have a client. How the hell am I supposed to have a portfolio if I haven't written anything? That's the thing. Just write something. Choose somebody who would be your dream client and look at their content, look at their email sequences, look at their landing page, whatever you want to write, and rewrite it. Make it better. Pretend as if they are your client. I'm not saying like pretend and lie. I'm saying pretend for yourself. Write some samples up of what a blog would look like if you wrote it, and change it up a little bit. Don't do it all for the same person or the same ideal client. Like change it up a little bit so you have some diversity in your portfolio. But what I would do is I would write, an ad. I would write two or three reels scripts, content scripts. Um, and then I'd probably write maybe an email or two and a blog, just so that they have a couple different length versions as well. For whatever reason, clients always want to see different versions of length that you're writing. And I would mix up the industry as well as the kind of tone so you can show it. And then I would put it all on a Google Doc, and I would clearly label it like this is for this niche, and in this tone. So like this is for an investment, coach, and that tone is professional yet warm and trusting. And what is the goal here with this script? And kind of educate the person who is looking at this on what you're doing and why, because context is everything. So go ahead, create your whole portfolio. Cool. And then once you have that, you are ready, you are off to the races. So where I first started was on two platforms called Upwork and Fiverr. So on Fiverr, you just basically create a portfolio, online kind of profile, and you have your services listed there and your prices and all that stuff. And people can come to you. They come and find you and they hire you. On Upwork, it's the opposite. So you have a profile, but you go and you buy tokens that allow you to bid on jobs and to basically apply and compete with other freelancers on jobs. So on both of those profiles is where I got my start. It's where I learned pricing and the type of content I wanted to write, the type of writing I wanted to do. Because on Upwork and all these different profiles, there's all different types of writing. There's scripting, there's emails, there's blogs, there's creative writing, there's ghost writing. So you can kind of mess around and see what is needed in the market. You can see how the client is kind of saying what they want. So you can take that and use those words to then pitch what you do, because they like it when when you use their words. And it helps you with pricing. And those different accounts like Upwork and Fiverr, they help protect you. So if someone doesn't want to pay you, they have their credit card information and they'll go and get it. I once had a situation where someone didn't want to pay me for something for some reason. They're just trying to get free copy. And because I was using Upwork at the time, it forced them basically to pay me. So those are the pros and cons. They do take obviously a percentage of the pay. They do obviously, like Upwork, you have to buy the tokens, but they're both great platforms, and I don't know why they get a lot of hate, but that's where I started back in 2020, and I was really grateful for it. Now, moving forward, I don't use those. I use Facebook, I use LinkedIn, use social media platforms and cold DMs in order to find new clients. So that's probably what the majority of people who I talk to are trying to do as well. So your cold DM is really important, and how you set that up is very important. I have a post on it. I'll link to it, breaking down the one cold DM that got me 15K worth of clients. So go ahead, break down that structure. Do not copy it word for word. It will not work for you. use the structure that I explained in that post, in that graphic, to create your own. Authenticity and originality is going to take you far, and that's what's taken me far. So please do not copy and paste it. It won't work for you. So cold DMs and how I find people to pitch on Instagram, like let's say that's probably my favorite platform, is I will go to the search bar, the explore page, right? And I'll search in the search bar a keyword for my ideal client avatar. I've got that figured out. So if you don't have that figured out, that's okay. I'm going to kind of break down why I do what I do. So I like info services. A lot of beginners will start in ecom just because it's a lot easier to write product descriptions and selling products versus selling a service. It's like concrete versus stuff you got to kind of use a lot of more psychological leveraging in order to sell. If that makes sense. But I love info. So info is like services, online services. And I love business coaches specifically because business coaches will always need more copy because they're coaching other people how to do and run their business. And those people are going to need copy as well. So if I get a great business coach, I can usually, after a couple months of working with them, offer to white label my services through them for their clientele and, be part of their VIP package or just upsell through their network. So one client turns into 20. And so I'll just type something like coach or business. And if I find a profile that kind of the person seems to align with the stuff I like, my same core value stuff I know I can write about, I'll send them the DM, which I referenced, the cold DM. And then in that, if they ask for samples or a portfolio, I've got my portfolio links ready to go, which I update pretty consistently because I'm writing new stuff all the time and I want to have new and fresh stuff on there. And I send that over. And that's how I get my clients. I think one of the biggest mistakes I see people make is they try to sell so hard and they try to go off of templates or off of scripts so hard that they forget to be human. That's a human on the other side of that conversation. They're a person, they're a successful person. So don't talk to them like they're a bot. Don't talk to them like they're just money in the bank. Connect with them. Like I talk to people in the DMs just like this, just like a normal freaking conversation. Um, I'm the same version of me that I am here, that you would meet in person, that I am online, that I am in the DMs, very same person. And so I think that's why I am able to sell so easily in the DMs. And I'm also just not purely interested in making money. My main interest is making that person I'm talking to better. I want them to leave that conversation, whether or not they buy from me or not, more educated, more set up for success. And even if it's just making them feel great about what they're doing, that's totally fine too. And because that's always been my focus, it just always converts into sales. If that's your focus, is to be a solution to bring someone joy, to make their day better, it's going to turn into money. And I know that sounds woo-woo, but honestly, it's the truth. And where most people are lacking is forgetting that a human is on the other side. Something else I've noticed too is a lot of these people will come into the DMs and they know that they can write emails. So they'll be like, hey, I want to rewrite your email sequence for you, or I want to write a course for you, or I want to write a landing page for you. That's a very narrow target to shoot for, especially if you're approaching someone who is in the info space or has multiple things they need, because now you're betting on that they're going to need exactly that. And you don't know that. There's no way you don't know that. You have no idea if they're already in the process of building that. You don't know if, they just hired somebody for that. You have no idea what their tension is. So I never lead with, I can do this specifically for you. I always lead with, hey, I'm a copywriter and ghostwriter, would love to be able to write some stuff for you. We start talking and I'm like, where do you feel like you need the most support in your business right now? And they'll say, leads, or they'll say, oh, nurture, like I need to follow up with all my old sales, da 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 da, and resell them. And so then from there, they're telling me what the problem is. And again, I'm not presenting a problem, I'm presenting a solution to them. They're telling me the problem, what the problem is. So I don't have to sell them on the service. They've already stated, I have this problem. And I go, oh, cool, I have this solution. And it makes the sale so much easier instead of trying to force a specific thing down their throat. Um, so, kind of recap, make a portfolio off of people who you'd want to be your ideal client, potentially leverage platforms like Upwork and Fiverr. Go check out my cold DM sequence or my cold DM strategy and write your own. Then use something like the explore page on Instagram to look up keywords for your ideal client avatar. Send at least 50 DMs a day or as many as Instagram will allow you until they cut you off. And then when you enter into a conversation with somebody, treat them like a human. And don't try to shove a specific thing down their throat. Ask them where you can support them in their business and then offer solutions. Even if it's not you, even if it's a referral, even if it's, your opinion, or even if it's a news article, whatever. If you position yourself as a solution and you've already told them that you're a writer, they're going to remember that, oh, Amanda's someone who gives me solutions, and they told me what lifting shoe to get. And now that I suddenly need copy, or I have a friend that needs copy, they're going to think of me first and come to me first. So if you can position yourself as a solution, it will ultimately end in sales. And that's honestly the very basics of it. I know a lot of people will listen to these things or come onto social media looking for this incredible easy hack. And they want it to be a complicated thing, but it's often the most simple things that bring success. And it's often the most simple things that people don't want to do for some reason. So I would encourage you to try this out. And if you get stuck, just go ahead and DM me on Instagram. I'm here to help. I'm here to make your life easier. If you want a more detailed sales approach, I detail my whole sales process and my sales calls in my course, Cash Flow Copy. I would love to have you a part of that. I'll drop a link to that as well. But yeah, go try this out. Let me know if you need help, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.